Hello, children. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is the Magic Paintbrush. Children, can you ever imagine that you have a magic pencil or a magic paintbrush? Whatever you will draw with that, if it comes true, what will happen? Have you ever think of that? Have you ever think that you will also have someone like a Doraemon who can have instant gadgets to help you? We often imagine, right? Now, how many of you want it? I know now all of you will want it, right? So the chapter that we are going to start today, there is also a little boy whose name is Jack. He also got a similar magical thing. So, let's read what he got and how he helped others with that magical pencil that he got. So, let's read the chapter and know more about Jack. The Magic Paintbrush. Jack was a small boy who loved to draw. So, Jack was a small boy and he loved to draw, just like you. You all like drawing, right? Similarly, Jack also loved to draw. But he was too poor to buy pens, pencils, or colors. But the saddest part is, Jack is very poor. So, he didn't have money. He didn't have enough money to buy pens, pencils, or colors. So he drew pictures in the sand with stones or sticks or even with his fingers. Children, you can see it in the picture itself, right? He is trying to make something in the ground. Once Jack was drawing a picture on the ground. An old man saw him and asked, "Would you like to fill colors in your picture?" So what happened? One day, Jack was drawing a picture on the ground. And suddenly, an old man saw him and asked him if he would like to fill colors in his pictures. "I don't have the money to buy colors," Jack replied sadly. So when the old man was asking him if he wants color, Jack replied him that he didn't have money to buy colors. "Here's a brush for you." The old man gave him a golden paintbrush. So what happened? The old man gave him a golden paintbrush. Jack was delighted. Now, children, Jack is a very poor boy. He didn't have any pencils, any colors, any pens. Now, if he gets something as a gift, naturally, he will be very delighted. He will be very happy. So, on getting the golden paintbrush from the old man, he became very happy. "Thank you," he said with a pleased smile. "Now I can draw pictures for people to make them happy." So, as the man gave him the paintbrush, Jack said him thank you. Jack thanked him and he told him that now he will draw pictures for people to make them happy. He will make beautiful pictures with that paintbrush, and whenever people will look at it, they will become happy. Next, the very next day, Jack painted a duck using his new paintbrush. Now what happened? The next day, Jack painted a duck with that paintbrush. As soon as he finished, the duck came to life and flew off paper and onto the pond. Wow, he said, this is a magic paintbrush. Now, when Jack got that paintbrush, he didn't know that it was a magical paintbrush. But when next day he was just drawing a duck and he saw, he was actually surprised to see that the duck came to life, and he understands that that is a magic paintbrush. Jack was a kind boy. He began to paint pictures for the poor people in the village. He painted a bullock for the poor farmer who was plowing the land himself. He painted food for the needy and toys for the poor children. Now see, Jack was a very kind boy, right? That is why God blessed him with a magical pencil through that old man, right? Now, what did he do with that magical brush? He began to paint pictures for the poor people. At first, he painted a bullock for the poor farmer, as he had to plow himself the land. So understand that the poor farmer becomes very tired after the day's work. It is very troublesome, right? So he painted a bullock for that poor farmer. Even he painted food for the needy and toys for the poor children. The king heard about the magic paintbrush. Now what happened? This news of magic paintbrush reached the king. He sent his soldiers to find Jack. Come with us, said the soldiers. The king wants you to paint some money for him. So, the king sent soldiers to get hold of Jack so that Jack can draw some money for him. Now, children, see. The king is already very rich, right? That is why he is known to be as a king. Now, in spite of having so much wealth, again he wants money. That means he must be very greedy, right? So naturally, let us see what did Jack replied. But he is already rich, said Jack. I only paint to help the poor people. So what did Jack replied? Jack is a very good boy, very kind-hearted boy. He is very honest. So he honestly replied without any fear that the king is already rich and he will not paint anything for the rich man. He just wants to help the poor one. But the nasty soldiers took Jack to the king. But the soldiers were very rude, very unkind. That is why they didn't listen to Jack and they took Jack to the king. Paint me a sack of gold coins, the king shouted. Now what happened? When Jack was taken to the king told him to paint him a sack of gold coins. Jack said bravely, no. The angry king ordered his soldiers to lock him up in the prison. But as Jack did not paint anything, as Jack did not agree to paint anything for the king, the angry king ordered his soldiers to lock him up in the prison. Inside the prison cell, Jack used his paintbrush to paint a key for the lock and a horse he could ride away on. So children, Jack is not only a very kind-hearted, good, honest boy, but also he is very intelligent, we must say. He has presence of mind. That is why inside the prison, Jack used his paintbrush to paint a key to unlock the door of the prison. And he also painted a horse so that he could ride away on. When the soldiers began to chase him, when the soldiers began to follow him to catch him again, he quickly painted a hole on the ground. What did Jack do? He painted a hole. The soldiers fell into this hole and Jack was able to escape. So, finally, Jack was able to run away from the hold of the king of the soldiers. So, children, this is the story of Jack about how bravely he managed to escape from king's prison and how big-hearted he was that in such a small age he used to help the needy and the poor people. So this is a small story. I hope you all like it. Now children, you must have understood that the moral of the story is we should not be greedy like the king. We should be kind to others just like Jack, right? Okay children, please give a second reading. Thank you children. Have a nice day.